Dealing with any disorder is not as easy as it sounds. I really thought I was alone in the world. Forever. I remember how scared I was when the symptoms would show. How young I was. Scared, nervous, intense, and I had so much emotion. I felt blocked. My escape would be I would always dream of being normal, or having a different life, something that was a distraction of what I dealt with. But where's the balance? How do I become unstuck? Would I always have to suffer with this condition like this? Well, that's what I thought back then. But now, after dealing with it for so long, I found my solution. Well, my coping, actually. I met one of the best therapeutic doctors. I felt free. These documents gave me the answers I was looking for. I didn't realize that so much research into a disorder would make me feel whole, that I wasn't alone. I never thought I would have something that will stick with me for so long. It wasn't easy. But in the end, it all worked out.
Shirley, I want you to have this. This paper shows you different types of psychotherapy. Psychotherapy is a process that many believe is shrouded in mystery, but it doesn't have to be that way. Here are a few of the most common approaches to psychotherapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy. This is based on a person's thoughts that influence their feelings. Next, we have psychoanalysis, the traditional treatment with a couch and notebook. It mainly focuses on childhood experiences and unconscious drives. After that, we have motivational interviewing, typically used for treatment of addictions. And the interviewing is an intervention that can be used to help make changes in a person's life. Last but not least, we have person-centered therapy. This treatment is focused on building a strong relationship with the client while providing an empathetic ear. The therapist would offer encouraging change or acceptance.
Wow, I didn't realize there's more than one therapeutic treatment. Are these beneficials with something with OCD?
Psychotherapy does require work on your part. Probably won't do you any good if it is getting pushed out of your mind. I'm here to offer you a hand, like the waves of the ocean.
Yes, sir. I do the work. Thank you. My biggest fear is I just don't know what's going to maintain my mind. Every time I'm in therapy, I always fall off the bandwagon, and I do the work and the activities and the research, but a couple of weeks later, I'm back exactly where I started. And I really do want to find the route and fix what I'm having, or at least cope with what I'm getting, but I want to do it for so long. I've been struggling with OCD since I was 8 years old. I never knew why, but I started fearing death all of a sudden. At night, I would believe that I would die in my sleep. If I watched movies, read a book on anything that had to do with death at night, I was convinced that would happen to me. And I would have to pray every single night that wouldn't happen. If I didn't pray a certain type of prayer at night, I would stay up all night to make sure that couldn't happen to me. I thought maybe it was because I was just reading stuff. But then I really took a big break and I still had that fear. Before that, I couldn't stop sucking my thumb. I would always suck my thumb every single night. And if I didn't stop sucking my thumb, I was convinced that I would stop breathing in my sleep. Then I couldn't sleep at night sometimes. And it provided like a comfort when I did suck my thumb. And I tried very hard to stop sucking my thumb because I know it damages your teeth. But then I feel like I would lay awake at night and die of some sleep paralysis. My parents did everything to get me to stop sucking my thumb, but when I thought about stop sucking my thumb, I felt scared, alone, petrified of the world. Now I think about it, it was like a comfort to me. And death, same thing. I still think and terrified of death to this day. But I don't think about dying in my sleep as much. I'm so sorry. It's way too extreme now I think about it. My gosh, I didn't realize how much I had in my brain at such a young age.
That was your comfort, the escape. It made you feel safe.
Both my parents have it. My dad has OCD and anxiety. And my mom has anxiety and ADHD.
When you were younger, did your parents say anything about having a mental diagnosis? If so, do you remember your parents teaching you coping skills or talking about their mental health diagnosis?
My parents had no idea I had OCD until early 6th grade of middle school. My mom would talk about her dealings with it, but my dad was very closed off. He would always say,
"Go talk to your guidance counselor at school. I was never like that at your age. You need to be eating more. You never want to talk to us. You're always in your room. No wonder why you're always mad. You need to be on medication. If you come out more, you will stop being so miserable."
And I know he was trying to help, but in that moment it really didn't do anything. I didn't feel comfortable at home. So I would talk to my childhood best friend at the time. Gosh, I had such an obsession with her. Now Carter and I don't even talk. She was kind. Always invited me to her house.
I think flowers look really good on you. You remind me of Smurfette. Here, Shirley, I made a friendship bracelet for you. Remember our handshake? 2 for 1 and 1 for all. Like sisters, we glide through the sky. I'm always here for you, sister. Don't be scared. Be an eagle.
Talking to someone 8 years old is weird about your feelings. I mean, most kids don't talk about stuff like that. Or if they did, they sugarcoated it. Or they brushed it off. Most kids were playing on the playground and playing house, playing hopscotch, playing dodgeball. I mean, don't get me wrong, she was really good at dodgeball. We would always play house. Pretend we were older, younger, and play different types of roles in the family. That was my coping.
I wish we were sisters. I can braid your hair and just dance with you every night. We could have chicken pasta that my mom makes. I love you, Shirley.
Good memories don't last long. By the time 5th grade hit, her friendship was gone. Other girls pulled her away. I mean, I can see why. She was so nice. All the teachers loved her. The sad part is, she was bullied because of me. I dressed differently. She would always stand up for me, but she couldn't handle it anymore, and I don't blame her. I feel awful that she was around me. She was my best friend. I would sing, dance, make friendship bracelets just to get her back, and she would say,
Please stop. You look ridiculous. I have a new best friend.
I remember we used to call each other on the phone all the time. One time she called me to study for the FCAT. To be honest, sir, it's my fault. I lost friends because of the way I was. I tried to control everything. I became so obsessed that it creeped people out.
Kids are very influenced. She was your friend, someone to talk to.
Yes. She was. I mean, it did get better. Now we somewhat acknowledge each other on Instagram. But I miss that interaction. I had kids laugh at me in the bathrooms. They would go into the stalls and point. One of Carter's friends, her new best friend, went under the stall and pointed, and she laughed at me. I remember that. It scared the crap out of me. I guess that explains why I don't like going to the bathroom anymore. Talking to a teacher was pointless. Either they agreed with the student or they got mad at you, and defending myself made it worse. I had to switch schools when I was in first grade because of the bullying. When I was younger, I had this girl make up a song and sing my parents are going to jail. I moved on from elementary. Maybe not. But it still triggers everything.
Do you have any siblings?
My brother. He's 5 years older than me. We were very close growing up. However, I got mad a lot. And I pushed everyone away. Now that I think about it, I was a very bad kid. My parents had disagreements because of me. My mom was always tired. My dad was fed up with it. I had a great childhood and great parents that loved me. But I was always the angry one, and I still cannot pinpoint why.
When a child deals with mental health, it does something to the brain. The younger you are, the heavier the effects. Now, that's not saying you can't be older and have severe mental health. When symptoms like these arise, kids especially don't know what that is. The disorder rises and gets more affected and becomes severe. Kids deal with anger differently because of how heavy it is. It didn't make you feel good. OCD can cause panic attacks and outbursts if things are not in order. OCD can always unbalance the chemical system. It causes mood swings.
I didn't think about it in that way. I always felt this pool of energy and the satisfaction of getting my way. Yeah, I guess now I see it.
That's what I am here for. I can't promise these next sessions are going to be better than the last therapists, but I do hope you can take something from this. You are already on your next step with healing.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's so easy to knock yourself down. I feel if I give myself credit that I'm erasing what I caused for people.
You are not erasing anything. You are understanding.
You're right. I definitely didn't have to tell my mom this, though. At the age of 10, I told my mom I wanted to kill myself. I mean, what kind of kid tells their parents they want to kill themselves? I had girls make fun of me. I had my stuff stolen all the time. I couldn't take it anymore. And when I did try to harm myself, I had the biggest fear of blood. I was in the hospital when I was younger, which was stupid on my part. And that made me fear of emergency rooms. Can't even look at the sign anymore. I could never go through it. I tried. Tried my hardest. Had it right there, and I just could never go through it. I think secretly I'd hoped that my life would get better.
Do you still want to harm yourself?
No, sir. I don't think I really wanted to when I was 10. It was just my escape. I haven't thought about it. Well, throughout my life I have. I haven't thought about it in this time. I think it was just an escape.
That was a feeling. Like you said, it was your escape. I'm glad you didn't take that route. I'm glad you're here. The world needs you, Shirley. You're better at it. Did you receive help during this time?
I did receive therapy at this time. It was the first time I was on some fish oil medication for focusing when I was in 5th grade. I remember how wired I was. I didn't care for the medication. It somewhat fogged my brain a little bit, so I was a little bit better than being on edge. I did enjoy talking to my therapist, but I didn't know how to talk to my therapist because I just didn't know what was going on. So they kind of coped me in a different route. It was more focusing. It wasn't really based on an OCD thing. But now that I look back on it, I would say the therapist did help at that time.
You may be wondering why there are so many therapies. Each therapist was coded for that time in your life.
That's exactly what I was thinking, actually. Wow. I feel heard. Thank you. I didn't mean to talk about my past on the first day. I thought maybe I was over it, and I guess maybe I wasn't. But that's okay, because that's what I'm here, and I'm ready to start the new chapter of my life. Thank you for all this activities and these discussions and these documents. This is really going to help me. Thank you.
You needed it. This is part of psychoanalysis. Here is a deep breathing exercise. On this paper, it shows relaxing techniques performed by taking slow, deep breaths. During periods of anxiety or intrusive thought, the body triggers a set of symptoms called the stress response. Our breath becomes shallow, our body becomes tense, and we feel sick. The opposition to the stress response is the relaxation response. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. And exhale for 6. Repeat for at least 2 minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your past does not define you. Take it easy, Shirley. Remember the breathing when the mind brings on those intrusive thoughts. You are safe.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I never had anyone do this before. I do feel safe. I can talk to you. I'm really glad you're my therapist. Thank you. I look forward to the next session.
See you next month.